The Dow and the S&P just can't stop winning. Both indices surged to new highs this past Friday, capping off an impressive 6-week streak. The stock market's performance is defying the usual election year jitters. Tom Lee of Fundstrat Global Advisors, who said 6 weeks ago he was expecting a 10% dip, is bullish once again on equities, and he sees the stock market strength going into the end of the year. He acknowledges potential turbulence, but maintains a positive outlook due to the strong fundamental backdrop.
You're right. We got fooled by seasonality because I figured, well, between now and election day, there's a heightened possibility of some type of correction. We weren't saying you want to sell stocks. I think it's always a mistake when people panic sell, because we, literally in the same paragraph, said, but if it does pull back, you want to buy that dip. And I think we're still in that tricky period until after election day. But that doesn't mean I think investors should be bearish right now. I think we have a really good fundamental backdrop. I mean, look, if David's view is correct, 3.5% 10-year, 3.5% Fed funds rate is very supportive of the economy. It's going to really take housing and autos and durables out of a recession, and that should be good for not only earnings growth, but for PE multiples. So to me, all of this, I think, is a pretty good backdrop. That doesn't mean turbulence couldn't happen. So, Jod, I guess, I think people kind of view the idea that there could be caution as like a dirty word. It shouldn't be. I mean, this is a stock market, and people should be prepared to buy dips if there are.
Yeah, and we're coming into the 2 weeks of peak earnings season, Tom, to your point. Plus, right behind that, we do have this election. So the next couple of weeks will be ones to watch here for investors. You just mentioned housing, though, Tom, and I do want to get your call on that because you're bullish on the home builders, and you say there's historical precedent for this.
Yes. The reason we highlighted the trade today is that since 1999, believe it or not, there's a 6-month window when home builders enter a golden 6-month period. It's something we've been writing about at Fundstrat for a better part of a decade, and the trade's worked 12 of the last 15 years. But from October 20th to April 29th, home builders have outperformed the S&P by an average of almost 1,900 basis points. So all of the gains home builders make typically occur those 6 months. I can't explain the seasonality, but the backdrop is better today because the Fed is cutting at a time when there's pent-up demand, and the home builders have actually done a very good job of capital management. So to us, it looks like a trade that should work this year.
So this is the SPY ETF, which mimics the S&P 500. This is the daily chart, and I just wanted to bring a couple of levels of interest. We have this rally, base and candle, and then the rally out. And this is going to be roughly at $575. So that is going to be daily buyers. And one other level I want to bring to your attention, if we scroll out to the weekly chart, you have these wicks on the bottom of these candles. This implies that there are buyers, and we call that weekly buyers at $568. Now, one thing I want to bring to your attention, these wicks signify that the real buying levels are right below, and rightfully so. You have resistance, which got flipped and now becomes support. So these are the levels that I would put on my charts. Now this is the Dow ETF, ticker symbol DIA. And it's somewhat very similar to the SPY. You do have levels of interest at the daily buyer's level at $425, and you have another level below that at the $415 level. Now let's scroll out to the monthly chart, the weekly chart rather. Very similar to the SPY. You have these wicks on the bottom of these candles, signifying that the real buying is below. And here's what I can envision as we gear up to elections. Regardless of who wins, you could see a steep spike down, only to be met with buyers, and then the continuation of the impulse move higher. So put these levels on your charts, put alerts. Things should get interesting in the coming weeks as volatility is inevitable to pick up. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. Please like the video.